Here I offer preliminary remarks for a course in ancient Greek based on Homer's Iliad. Originally published in 1920, Pharr's Homeric Greek, a book for beginners, pioneered an alternative manner of introducing students to the Greek language. This approach had been previewed and its rationale fully explained in a journal article a few years previous. That journal article was called A Year or More of Greek and was published in the Classical Journal, Volume 13, Number 5 of February 1918, pages 364 to 371. At that time, first-year students of ancient Greek were generally introduced to the language in its Golden Age form, the Attic dialogue of Plato, Euripides, and Thucydides, with an eye to beginning one's reading of literature with Xenophon's Anabasis. Pharr's revolution consisted in insisting that both the cause of Greek and first-year students would be better served by beginning Greek with Homer's Iliad and with the dialect of the Homeric poems. Pharr's core rationale was simple. Homer's Iliad is simply a far more riveting text to encounter in the original than Xenophon's Anabasis, or the made-up detached sentences found in elementary Greek textbooks to this day. At the time he wrote, "For the work of the first year, including the beginner's book, with its dreary and forbidding detached sentences, leading up to Xenophon, who is not much better, there ought to be substituted a book introducing the student at the very earliest practicable moment. Experience has shown that by judicious use of explanatory notes, this can be done profitably after 10 or 12 preliminary lessons. To continuous reading from a Greek author who is intrinsically interesting and who is really worthwhile. Instead of continuing with detached sentences, as heretofore, the principles of grammar can be illustrated and developed aptly from further lessons in this author, and the remaining work in the beginner's book should continue until all the more common forms and constructions are mastered, everything, of course, being illustrated from the text of the author. For this purpose, there is no better guide than Homer to introduce our neophytes to the possibilities of Greek literature, just as he led the schoolboy of ancient Hellas to the Pierian spring." True to his word, Pharr confronts the student with the opening lines of the Iliad after just 13 lessons. He then adds and reviews the remaining elements of morphology and syntax while marching through Book 1 of the Iliad. So in effect, Pharr's Homeric Greek covers the equivalent of 1.5 years of collegiate studies in Greek, since it not only handles the elementary morphology and syntax, but also leads one through an authentic literary text, indeed, the most authentic and primary text of all. Although this is not strictly a course in New Testament Greek, it can serve as one. That is to say, anyone who does follow this course would have no trouble working his way through the Gospel of Mark or Luke by about the halfway point. There is another, even more essential way in which this course will be a gateway to all of Greek. For this course will display my own personal conviction that there is no tool more essential for a life of reading Greek than a working knowledge of the layout and contents of Smyth's Greek grammar. The cruel fact surrounding any first-year Greek textbook, and the same goes for Latin, is that it becomes obsolete the moment one finishes the final lesson. First-year textbooks provide entry into the vestibule of Greek or Latin literature. The many mansions of these great literatures can be explored, ultimately, only with the help of a university-level grammar. So whereas that elementary textbook exhausts itself after its final lesson, Smythe remains a vital and recurring refresher of knowledge for the maturing reader of Greek. To know one's way around Smythe is to know one's way around the Greek language as a whole. Learning and retaining Greek is a war against forgetfulness, a war over the course of which very few battles are ever completely won. So one finds oneself coming back again and again to those sections in Smythe to refresh that knowledge. Here it's good to recall the words of Diotima to Socrates concerning remembering, drilling, practicing. She said to him, "What we call reviewing implies that our knowledge is departing, since forgetfulness is the egress of knowledge, while reviewing substitutes a fresh idea in place of that which departs, and so preserves our knowledge enough to make it seem the same." I don't think there's any place where this is more true than in one's retention of a complex language like ancient Greek. So the two books I'll be most using in these presentations will be Pharr's original textbook, Homeric Greek, a book for beginners, and Smythe's Greek grammar. Both of these works are available in PDF either from Google Books or on the textkit.com site, textkit.com. But I strongly advise anyone who begins this course with serious intent to purchase Smythe's Greek grammar in hard copy form, since it is not possible, I believe, for the brain to map on the complex subject matter of such a text working from a PDF. The physicality of a book enables holistic assimilation not afforded by the piecemeal experience of a PDF or screen. I apologize, however, for the pricing of Smythe, coming in at $71 on Harvard University Press's site, but beware of cheaper reprint editions offered for sale online. These are without fail usually copies of an earlier version of the work, so the numbering of sections in one of those will not match those given in the lectures. So I include the link to purchase direct from Harvard University Press your copy of Smythe in the description of this video. But given the high price, if one has access to a printer, one might begin working from the PDF, cutting and pasting the sections into a separate Word document to be reviewed from time to time. Though one's familiarity with the layout of Smythe will be compromised, a big expenditure will be avoided until one is sure to stick with this process. Learning and retaining Greek is a long road. The other books I enjoy using with Homer are Koine's Lexicon of the Homeric dialect and the Lindell and Scott Intermediate Greek Lexicon and Monroe's Homeric Grammar, which is up in my office. But like I say, the two books we'll be using most are Pharr's text, and this is the new 4th edition that's recently been issued by University of Oklahoma Press, and Smythe's Greek Grammar. Okay. As for learning materials, I highly recommend you get a package of legal pads so that you can write your notes in them and then review them easily. A solid notebook will do, but whatever, it has to be something that keeps all your notes together so that you can review them easily enough. And, a binder with loose leaf would do as well, if you like that. I recommend as well that you have a package of pre-cut 2x3-inch flashcards for vocabulary, and then a good, smooth writing pencil or pen. Okay? One learns by writing, speaking, and repetition, and we'll be doing quite a bit of that here, but it's important to write in order to get it deep into your brain. Okay? I hope to publish lessons of this course every Tuesday and Thursday. Good luck to you, and have a great day. Bye-bye. Say hello to the hound.
Yeah, Beauregard.